Odiya, may you host? Just if you can make me co-host just for a backup.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. And
Oh,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. Hare Krishna. Let us have a.
Hare Krishna.
This meeting is live streamed. Okay. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. So we'll start today the Karma Sannyasa Yoga, chapter 5. So before sharing the PPT, just I would like to ask. Yesterday we completed Transcendental Knowledge, Jnana Yoga, and today is the Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So, let's start. Let's start. And let me go to the PPT. Jai. Radha Govinda ki Jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakrurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो 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 विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिनि नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा All glories to Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, His Glories Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and our Temple President, His Grace Namanishta Das Prabhuji of Kulai, Mangaluru. So, we start Karma Sannyasa Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So, primarily action, action, and action, there is no question of inaction. So, there was a confusion of Arjuna when he asked that, what should I do, Krishna? Should I renounce? Should I go to jungle? Should I go to Himalayas and meditate? Or should I fight? So what he meant at that point of time by renunciation was renunciation from war or renunciation of war. Whereas Krishna clarified that renunciation has to be in war. So, detached work in complete knowledge. Which knowledge? Transcendental knowledge that we discussed last in chapter 4. So, so let me ask, we discussed yesterday about karma, and we discussed about, good action will give good results, bad action will give bad results, and so on. So there are three types of karma, and karma, vikarma, akarma. So let's just understand. Karma we understand very well. Karma is action or deeds. But what is vikarma? Anyone? Hare Krishna. There is a chart. Uh, no, I thought there is some answer in the chart. Hare Krishna, you can unmute and also say Hare Krishna. What is
When you
vikarma?
do some ill action, like really bad, like niche things, like lowly things.
Lowly things like what?
Like, I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate for me to say, but if you take advantage of somebody else's spiritual space or physical, or force yourself on somebody, or kill something deliberately, or not have, like stuff like that, like criminal things, like,
Yeah, of course.
or
I mean,
lie.
yes, all these criminal things will definitely come to be under the set of vikarma. But as a definition of vikarma, it is something which is against the scripture and against the law of God. That is the definition of vikarma. And what is akarma? Can we have more participants to answer this? Hare Krishna.
Is it
Or
inaction, Prabhuji?
inaction. It is not inaction. Akarma is not inaction, because in last chapter, I think chapter 2, I mean, this we had
Yeah.
discussed and understood that कर्मण्य बाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर मा संगस्त्व कर्मणि. So ma sangastva karmani. So that is a different thing. That is do not engage yourself in inaction. So akarma is not inaction, because in the beginning itself I said that Krishna is talking about action, and action, fight and fight. So there cannot be a question of inaction. So what is akarma? Okay, so akarma is devotional service. Devotional service is because this is the only way where the result of the action will not come back to us, because we are giving our result of action to Krishna in the devotional service. So there is one more question I want to ask, that we do some, let's say someone does some good work, that is punya. So he builds up some good work, so there will be some good result. And then also he does some papa or some, bad things. So now, is it possible that I do equal amount of punya and equal amount of papa, and then it will balance? How many of you think that it can balance? Hare Krishna.
No, I don't think it can be balanced.
Okay, fine. Um, any other answer?
I also think it's not, because
Yes, Prabhuji.
I also think it's not the right thing.
So it will not balance. And why it will not balance? It will not balance because each action will have its own reaction. So good action will have its own action, and bad action also will have its own reaction. In fact, in the normal Newton's theory also it is the same. Every action will have equal and opposite. Every action. So in any case, the good actions will have its own reaction, bad action will have its own reaction. So they will never be balanced. So only way to wipe out the reaction is devotional service, devotional service, or work in knowledge with devotional service. That is the only way to wipe out and uproot the reaction. So therefore, Arjuna was confused. Why my slide is moving? Yeah, now it can. Yeah, so Arjuna was confused that whether I should renounce or I should fight, because there is a process in which the knowledge was given to Arjuna, which we'll see that in the process how he got confused. So in this chapter, we learn five things. Number one is that how to do detached in work in Krishna consciousness with detached to the reaction, that is to be like a lotus leaf. Then three doers, that is soul, body, and prakriti or the material nature. Then for the liberation, what is required are equal vision, and there will be a brief introduction to Ashtanga Yoga. And finally, there is a peace formula in 5.29. So we all are looking for peace. So we'll have the formula today. Are you all ready to get the formula? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes. So we'll have the formula today, and we'll all have peace. And nobody can snatch that peace from us. That is for sure. That is a guarantee of Krishna. So three steps to be. So how to be like a lotus leaf? So you have seen lotus leaf. I think, I mean, many of us would have seen lotus leaf. There's a beautiful velvety leaf. So if a water droplet is there on a leaf, it is like it doesn't wet the lotus leaf. So if we see this event as a, let's say, as some work done by the leaf, let's say, so if the work is carrying the leaf, sorry, carrying the water droplet. So this job of carrying the water droplet is wonderfully done by the leaf. However, let's say a wind comes and swipes away the droplet, it will be as if there was no droplet because there will be no trace. So that is how we are supposed to do the duty without attachment. So if you ask the lotus leaf that did you want to be wet, it will it will not say at all. It will say no, no. I, I mean, what was that droplet? My job was only to carry it. That's all. And then offer the results to the Supreme Lord. So once we give everything to the Lord, then that becomes purified. And of course, we cannot do all this. All this will require that kind of purification, which will require constant control over senses and mind, that we have already learned, that how Indriyani Pramatini and all that. Hare Krishna. So let's go to the next. So the main takeaway is when Arjuna asks for a clarifications, we say that clarifications are good because they are the evidence of the interest and understanding. This happens in our material plane also. If we want to understand anything, then we must ask. And also, in the previous chapter, we said that how to ask a guru, that vidhi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya. So both in spiritual and material sciences, it is always good to ask. So now let us look at the process, that how this misunderstanding which happened to Arjuna, that he's asking, what should I do, Krishna? Should I, again, that he's asking the same thing, should I renounce or should I fight? But we need to understand that what led to his understanding. So first Krishna said that devotional service is better than dry mental speculation. That we understood. And second chapter, knowledge of soul was described. It is acheddam, akleddam. It cannot be burned. It cannot be wet by water. All those were given. All those knowledge was given by Krishna to to basically refute the logic of Arjuna's, that because he was having compassion. Now next was prescribed duty was explained, that if you do not even believe in that, then also you are supposed to do prescribed duty, because if there is no pain, there is no gain. So you have to do that. So as a Kshatriya, it is Swadharma, you must do that. In the 42-45, what happens is now we talked about entanglement of soul due to fruitive activities. And once it is said, then also he gave an explanation. I mean, solution to that. That 46, 43. Then there was a process which said that okay, this is the way how you can disentanglement can take place, in the sense that if soul, how to get disentangled from the various sense attachment, various mind attachments, etc. And that is through devotional service. And finally, text 17, 18. So there were two things. One is that no duty for a person in knowledge. This is one which has come. And then chapter 4, there was another thing where we said that all kinds of sacrificial work, like meditation, japa, in Kali Yuga, temple worship, fire sacrifice, everything ultimately culminates into knowledge. And in the last fourth chapter, which we studied yesterday, again Krishna told that, so I am giving you the transcendental knowledge. Now you fight, get up and fight. So if you look at, the last but third line and the last line, so there is a conflict. One is no duty for a person in knowledge, and then get up and fight. So therefore, he's asking that what I should do. Then what Krishna is answering. Let us see. Now, Arjuna Vacha Sannyasam Karvanam Krishna Punaryogam cha Samsashi Yat Shreya Etoyor Ekam Tanme Bruhi Sunischitam. That time also in fourth, he asked Ekam Vada. Here also he is saying, tell me one. You are confusing me by saying, two things together. So with Sunischita, with absolute clarity, please tell me, oh Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? So what Krishna is answering, we can see that. So we talked about sannyasa, particularly renunciation. So when Arjuna talked about renunciation, what is renunciation after all? Renunciation is based on the the main concept of dharma. So, and what are the pillars of the dharma? The pillars of the dharmas are mercy, truthfulness, austerity, and cleanliness. So all those are the pillars of the dharma. But we must understand which is more important. Pillars are most important, or something that pillars are holding, that is a roof, that is important. But in any case, the person who is going for a sannyas, what he's doing, he's living a bare minimum life in the forest, enabled, and what he's doing, that he's trying to observe all kind of austerities, so that he closely, operating on the four pillars and guarding against any offense towards them. So, for example, mercy is destroyed with non-veg eating, truthfulness is destroyed with gambling, austerity is destroyed with intoxicants and eating of intoxicants, and cleanliness is destroyed with illicit sex. All this he is not doing because he has gone to forest. So he's merciful. Why? Because he doesn't now rely on agriculture, so he doesn't have to plow. There is no transport use, nothing. So naturally he's now quite merciful by default. Then he is truthful also because he's staying alone, and even if somebody visits him, then he will be talking some Hari Katha. So he's truthful also. The second pillar also he's doing. He's austere because he's already taken this life, so he has already left everything and luxuries and comforts, and he's clean because that is what for which he has gone. So every day he takes bath 3 times and does his japa, and all that is he's doing. But again, coming back to the main point is that pillars are, everybody knows that pillars are only important because the roof is going to be placed on it. Because pillars are nothing but poles. If there is no roof on top, the roof is dharma. So dharma, if dharma is the ultimate aim, it is not necessary that it is to be approached through sannyasa. It can be approached through what? That let us see. So Now he's answering to 5.1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sanyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreyas Karau Ubhau Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yoga Vishishyate. The personality of God had replied, the renunciation of work and devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work and devotion service is better than the renunciation of work. So he's clarifying. It is not that you will not get liberation through renunciation, but between the two, this is good or this is better. So devotional service is better than renunciation of work, amply clarified in 5.2. So let's go ahead. What Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu talks about proper understanding of the renunciation. So प्रापंचिक तया बुद्ध्या हरि संबंधी वस्तुनः मुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यम falgu kathate. We talked about falgu vairagya and markata vairagya and yukta vairagya. We talked about that. So when persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, then renunciation is called incomplete. That is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The idea of renouncing is not correct because nothing belongs to you anyway, as Prabhupada also was telling everyone that what you will renounce after all, everybody is of Krishna. Whether our body is composed of earth, air, water, fire, and ether is of Krishna. Body, mind, intelligence, everything is of Krishna. The entire cosmos is of Krishna. So what is that you are going to leave? So similarly, committing suicide is also incorrect because even this body doesn't belong to us. And we don't have right over it. We need to use it in the service of Krishna. That is the only way we can get out of the reaction. There were some messages I thought is important. Yes. So we saw this person, last time, and everybody said that he is not a sannyasi. He is not a sannyasi because he has renounced. He got out of home and went to the forest, but he's again engaging himself in sense gratification. He's taking a mobile, talking to someone, intoxication. All this it is happening. So that is called a falgu vairagya or markata vairagya. However, if you look at this person who is a family holder, he is having a family, and however, he is doing a devotional service and he's giving results of all his deeds and works to Krishna. He's offering to Krishna in a devotional way. So that is called Yukta Vairagya because he's using the material things, whatever is there, the flower, the ornaments, the food he's preparing, all that is he's doing, whatever his salary he's getting or whatever his business he's getting, he's all using for Krishna. And who knows this person on the right? Anyone can identify Hare Krishna on the right hand side? We have Lord Jagannatha of Puri, of course, but who is the person who is sweeping? Can anyone identify? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. So, can you identify this person? He's the king, Prataparudra Deva. In fact, king, at the position of the king, he comes in the Ratha Yatra time to sweep the Bodadanda. So, that is the kind of work and devotion he does. In fact, Jagannath many times comes in dreams to him. Like he comes in the dreams to the Bodapanda, he comes also dreams to me. That is the kind of devotion he has. But just because he's king doesn't mean that he will only have his kingdom and always sit in the throne and things like that. So he does the devotional service with such humility. So, before we delve into this story, I'll ask just one question that in our life, uh, are there situations like this that I want someone to be very, very happy. I want to do something for someone, like to my friend, to my, relatives or anyone. I do my best, but ultimately it results in negative. It happens many times. Uh, is it happening in your life also? You are doing your best, but that person is not happy because that person is saying, okay, you have done all that, but it is of no use. Is it happening of this thing? This kind of things happen in your life? Hare Krishna? It,
Uh, it
it would
happens to it happens to everyone.
Any example you will give?
Uh, Mine, if you take an example, like actually, I was helping one of my friend, but she was telling me like, you did not complete your work and you are helping me. Why so? That that kind of thing was like that was the thing what she was saying actually.
Yes, Prabhuji. So it happens to all of us. So this is the story of a great king who was a great giver. So King Nriga, his name is King Nriga. So he was having, charity. Very, very. Those times, kings used to give uh, thousands of cows and golds and so on. So one day he was, giving thousands of cows to one Brahmana. So the Brahman was very happy. He took all the 1,000 cows home. But what happened? One cow out of that somehow returned to the palace. It happens many times. Cow, come to their owner's house, and that Brahman also did not know because one cow left. So how to know? Then next day also king was again in his giving mood because he was doing a charitable work. So he called another Brahmana and then he also again gave away another 1,000 cows. What happened is now the cow which was already given to the previous Brahmana now got mixed up in the new lot. Now this Brahmana went with the lot. On the way, the previous Brahmana who was given the cow in the previous day, he identified his cow. Then there was a fight between the two Brahmanas, saying that this is my cow. He said this is my cow. And finally, they went to the king. And when the things was opened up, then in fact they cursed the king, saying that you cannot do such abominable act. Why? Why? Because sacrificing a cow second time is a greater sin. With saying that, they cursed him that you become please. Just become a lizard. So Nriga became a lizard in a whale, and he was just waiting what to do now because he has done his best. He was trying to do the charity as per the scriptures. Of course, he was thinking that by doing all this, he might go to heavens or all those things will happen. What happens to a good deed? Fortunately, when Krishna was visiting with from Dwaraka with his friends for a picnic in the nearby area, he went there and he was calling. So lizard, in the form of the lizard, also he was able to remember his previous life because actually he was a good soul. So he was able to remember and he told his story. And Krishna was compassionate and relieved him. And immediately he got his body back. We can see that. So one mistake, we can do lot of good things if we are not doing in the devotional service. Had he done, let's say, this sacrifice for the pleasure of Krishna, then it would have been done. There was no problem because then he was not thinking about whether it will give him some good results or not. So the takeaway is giving charity is good, but giving charity in the name of Krishna only liberates one. Even good deeds attached to Krishna frees from fruitive results, both good or bad. So karma yoga or karma sannyasa. ज्ञेय स नित्य सन्यासी यनो द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति निर्द्वंदो हि महाबाहो सुखम बंधात् pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person liberated from all dualities easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty Arjuna. So here we're talking about liberation. So what do you understand by liberation? So there are two situations of liberation it is talking about, but what generally you understand about liberation? Hare Krishna. Prasiddhi Bhushan Prabhuji.
Uh, First thing is like fully you are concentrated to Krishna, and you're like you're in the first step of liberation. That's one thing I know.
Yes. Without getting concentration and focus on Krishna, liberation is not possible, but that is not the event of liberation. What is liberation? Priya Mataji? Anyone else? What is liberation?
Going back to Godhead.
Yes, going back to Godhead, but that is fine. When you get liberated, you go to Godhead. But liberation from what? Because it's a word liberation, right? And after
Material
liberation,
bondage.
yes, material bondage, primarily it is from the birth and death cycle. Otherwise, we discussed देहिनोस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारम यौवनम जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. So soul changes body after body after body. There are 84 lakhs of spaces and janmas and births that the body can go through. So, and only 4 lakhs are for human being. So 84 minus 4, 80 lakhs are different spaces. So we will have different kind of bodies. So that is the most painful and the most dangerous thing. What is the most dangerous thing? If we ask, then this is what it is. The, the cycle of birth and death. So our objective is to get out of this cycle of birth and death. And there are two ways. As Mataji was saying, that yes, after liberation, it will not get the next body. It will not get the next body and it will go to uh, Supreme Godhead, the abode of Krishna. But how? One is devotional service. That is, after death, the soul goes straight away to Golaka. However, there are also liberated souls who stay in the body itself. I mean, when they're leaving, also they are already liberated. So we have many examples, like Sukha Maharaj, the son of Vyasadeva, Narada Muni. They are liberated souls. They are in the body, but they are liberated altogether. And even the persons who see here, two things are very important. That the person who neither hates or desires. So if somebody is out of these dualities, so if you look at Narada Muni or Sukha Muni, they are free from the dualities. So that is another liberation which doesn't require to die. In any case, after death, the liberation will happen, for the person who is doing the devotional service, complete devotional service. But for others also who are in the state of no hate and no desire, they can also have the liberation. So renounce results, not action. So sannyas, sannyasastu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogataha Yoga yukto munir brahma na chirena adhi gacchati. So merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. It is against, there is a stress on devotional service that by simple, thoughtful, devotional service can straight away achieve the supreme without any delay. And we learn, Krishna has told how to achieve him. We learn that, right? In chapter 4, how to achieve him? Janma karma cha me divyam. Anyone remembers the verse?
Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
yeah, I remember. Janma karma cha me divyam imam yoveti tattvataha. Yeah, divyam.
त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति माम इति स अर्जुना. So already such a simple way Krishna is saying, it's not required to do so much of penance and so much of other things. Just listen to Krishna, listen to Bhagavatam, listen to Bhagavad Gita, hear him. That and to know him that he is beyond janma and karma. He's beyond uh, birth and his activities, his activities and his appearance, because we already discussed that Krishna doesn't take birth, he appears like the sun. So his appearance and his activities are divine. Knowing this and hearing about him itself will give complete liberation. Isn't it very, very simple way to get liberated? Hare Krishna. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. This is an exalted devotee, and he was absorbed in Mahamantra 24 by 7, and he was called Namacharya. Anyone who can recognize him? He is Haridas Thakur. And this story is very, very interesting. So he was doing his japa continuously. So this prostitute, in fact, one day approached him and tried to influence him. And he was not moved at all. Neither he was agitated. He just simply humbly said, okay, okay, young lady, just wait, let me complete my chant. So then he went on chanting, 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 and the lady waited. So one day is over. Second day, then again she approached. See, then he said that, okay, it's not still complete. So let me just complete and then we'll talk to you. He did not complete. And on the third day, the power of his devotional service to Krishna and power of the Mahamantra, the prostitute, in fact, became the devotee of Haridas Thakur. That is the power of devotional service and the power of Mahamantra. So 5.10, Brahmani अध्याय कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रम इवाम्बसा. Padmapatram Ivambasa. We just discussed about that. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results onto the Supreme God, is not affected by sinful reaction, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So, lotus leaf untouched by water is just a simile given to understand what is called a detached action and how surrendering the results to Krishna without any attachment, one can, one will be unaffected by the sinful action. So, emotional baggage, as it is often called, is when our past keeps pulling us back while we are trying to move on. Our prior successes do not allow us to take another step because current position feels safe enough, while past failures scare us from taking a step two. Emotional baggage is the ultimate hurdle for many and makes them stagnant. Hanuman, let us take the case of Hanuman. Hanuman burns down Lanka as an offering to the Lord, not as a display of his dominance. Many people think that Hanuman, in fact, the movies also show Hanuman. I mean, if you look at the movies, it shows like he's doing some kind of, dominating activity, some kind of fires activity. Not like that. If you ask Hanuman, he's just doing a devotional activity. He's simply doing a humble activity. Hence, and by that, what happens? He doesn't remember what he has done. He doesn't remember that he has brought the big hill. He doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember that he has jumped to Lanka. He doesn't remember anything, and he just moves on. That is called detachment. And hence, this enables him to engage in next service immediately. He is not attached to the result of his past activities, nor is he scared of failure because his every breath is for the service of the Lord. He is he is in the exalted Dasya Bhav for eternity. This is how we can also develop detachment. Achievement are just baggage if not placed at Krishna's lotus feet. We always hunger for many achievements. If I would have achieved this, then I would have done that. My neighbor has achieved something, my friend has achieved something, or someone else. And what kind of comparisons we make, in fact. There is no comparison. The two souls are not same. They may come on in this timeline, today's timeline, but we do not know who is the newer soul, who is the older soul, who has done what kind of good job, good deeds, who has done bad deeds. So now comparing that just because somebody is in my classmate, so he got IIT, so I did not get, or his son got the I did not get. So primarily, this is how the achievement are just like baggage, if not placed at Krishna's lotus feet. If our achievements we do not give credit to Krishna, then it is a will be called thief. And the best example of devotional service is Srila Prabhupada. He was working 17 hours or even 18 hours. Sometimes he was sleeping for just 3 hours. And the rest of the hours he was giving to devotional service. So he was a man of action. So therefore he has never talked about inaction. Action in devotional service. So he has given this definition of bhakti is devotional service, not devotion. So we saw how, what was the power of the Kirtan of Prabhupada, that he has converted the hippies into exalted devotees. So now come to 5.3. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna na karayan. Translation: when the embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of nine gates, neither working nor causing work to be done. So this person we can see that he's a family man, and he's doing his devotional service. His entire family, you can see his son is also enjoying the devotional mellow. But there is also in this verse we're talking about number dwara. So there are 9 gates, and one will be happy. The body is made up of 9 gates, and one will be happy with all these 9 gates. And which are the gates? So 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, one mouth, genitals, and anus. All these together are 9 gates of the city of 9 gates. The body is supposed to be a city of 9 gates. And in fact, it is said that when somebody dies, then generally he passes through one of the gates, and that there will be some blood mark in that particular gate. But people in devotional service, or the people who get samadhi, they come through the forehead. Hare Krishna. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Sopake cha Panditaha Samadarshina. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. Just look at the spectrum. On one side there is Brahmana, and on the other side there is a dog eater, and the Pandita, the humble sage, is able to see and everyone as equal. And we just discussed yesterday about the person named Rantideva, and he didn't discriminate between a Brahmana and also some person who came with the dogs and gave him the food. So the main question is why? Yeah. So main question is why we we see everyone as equal. Why you should see everyone as equal? What is the main reason?
The main thing is we are not the body, but we are soul, and we should see everyone in equality. That's one thing which I have done.
Yeah, that's a very, very good answer, Prasiti Bhushan Prabhuji. Uh, yes, we're the soul. But when we see equal, let's say I'm looking at an elephant, then I'm looking at whom? Am I just looking at the soul, or I'm also looking at something else?
Looking at Paramatma, that's
Yes, Paramatma stays. So primarily, I'm respecting the Paramatma in everybody's soul. Because Krishna says that Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivisto Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivisto, he says. Every living being means 84 lakhs of living beings. He stays as a Paramatma in the heart. So if I see a dog, if I see a Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, or dog eater, everybody will have this Paramatma in their heart. So the respect comes. So therefore, Panditas are Samadarshinaha. And this is what Krishna wants us to be. And Arjuna, particularly. This world would definitely be a better place. So, what we're saying is that this is easy to say, but really difficult. Because if this happens, then of course would have world peace and no fights, etc. So the world would be definitely a better place if everyone could get along. We could work with one another instead of against. However, you can see so many wars and uh, wars are going on and between so many countries. The ideology is called universal brotherhood, but there is a reason this doesn't. So people talk about this universal brotherhood. Even the countries who are fighting, at if you call them to the uh, World Economic Forum, then they say that we believe in a universal brotherhood. It doesn't happen. But there is a reason why it doesn't happen is for brotherhood. Let us understand this logic. For brotherhood, there has to be a common father, and unless we accept our universal father, who is Krishna, how we can have the brotherhood? And that's a simple logic. So Krishna is the father. He is the Bija Pradap Pita. ये ही संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःख योनः एवते आदि antavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. An intelligent person doesn't take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man doesn't delight in them. So it is talking about dukkha yona yaha and adi antavanta. So all the sense pleasures are having a start and having an end. Those are not permanent, and therefore the intelligent person will never ever indulge into this. So we have many examples. First example is this, where we see the insects. They want to enjoy the light, and they go towards that, and you see, I mean, all of their friends are going and dying there, but still they're going, because that is the kind of sense enjoyment which they're deriving from going there. And there's the power of the sense enjoyment which is happening. They cannot get out of that sense enjoyment, and therefore most important is that the understanding that it will start and it will end is not there. Then another good example is when the honeybee. We know this honeybee goes to the lotus flower and takes honey, and it is attracted towards the honey and the taste of the honey. So it is the taste of sense is so powerful that it just stays there, and taking honey forgets that lotus flower after the sundown will close. That's how the process is, and then it gets breathless and dies, because Adi Antavantah. So all these enjoyments are having a start and having an end, and we need to understand that. So there are also other examples like you know see how fishes are caught. The same process every time they were caught. Even so many other fishes are being caught in the same way, but they don't, just because of a small enjoyment, they get caught and again die. In all these cases, actually, they are dying just because of the sense enjoyment. And this is, of course, we know very, very well how the wild elephants are trapped. The she elephant is put aside, and the he elephant runs towards her, and thereby there is a ditch, and he falls down and get trapped. So, so all they're dying because of this attachment towards the sense enjoyment, which are adi antavanta, which are having a start and which are having an end. And the realization that all these some sansparsaja bhoga are the enjoyment. This bhoga are, the sansparsha is basically the sense enjoyment through touching, and touching in the sense even seeing is also part of that. Hearing is also part of that. For example, in case of the first, they're seeing the light. In the next is tasting. So is the sense of taste is using. Here there is a sense of touch is coming. So all this, the realization has to be there that all these are having a start and an end, and one should not engage in that. So very simple. Senses, if there is a desire to enjoy, which is always temporary, and what is not temporary is if we are desiring to serve Krishna, that will be eternal. So we can see many examples. All these people, some are trying. So there is rape going on. There is some robbery going on. All they're doing for some kind of sense enjoyment. But there you can see some of the devotees who are trying to do a kirtan and do a devotional service. So they will go to the next level because they know that all this enjoyment will have a start and have an end. शक्नोति वैव यः सोढुं प्राक्तशरीरो विमोक्षणात् कामो क्रोधद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is a yogi and is happy in this world. So this is the recommendation by Krishna, that before giving up this body, we, I mean, we cannot do it at the exactly the time of death. All this has to be practiced before death. Yantoho sukho nataramas tathantar yotir evayaha suyogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuta adhigachati. One whose happiness is within, who is active within, who rejoices within, and is illuminated within, is actually the perfect mystic. He is deliberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. So there is a saying that if you are not happy alone, if you are not happy alone, then you are in a bad company. That's of course a saying, but ultimately the message here is that one whose happiness is within, the happiness is not outside, happiness is within. So happiness is within, not outside. So we always, try to uh, check our senses to find out the higher realities. So we want to check whether there is Bhagwan, whether I can see Bhagwan and things like that. So Shastra gives three ways. One way Shastra gives is that something called a Pratyaksha Pramana, something called a Anumana Pramana, and something called a Shabda Pramana. So suppose somebody is, let's say, what is a Pratyaksha Pramana? Somebody wants to know about the structure of an atom. So what he will do? He will just pick up a stone and just looking at continuously for hours together. And then he's hoping that some clear image of atom will come. It will never come, because certain things require a different kind of process to understand. Just by Pratyaksha Pramana, it will not happen. Then somebody is trying to do it through, let's say, an Anuman Pramana. He's trying to speculate. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and now imagine structure of an atom. So he may imagine something different, not atom. But the simplest one will be what? Just go to the university, go to the physics professor, or even the peon. He will give you the exact book in which there is a description of the atom, right? But if you keep your faith means what? Faith means basically there is a process, there is a physics, physics literature is there, where all the invention, all the discoveries are already laid down, all the principles from let's say Galileo to Newton to Einstein, everything is there. So even the peon will tell you, because they know the information source, and that source is called parampara, which we talked about. So therefore, option was known as Pratyaksha Pramana in Shastra, while option 2 is called Anumana Pramana. The final option is called Sabda Pramana. And final thing is what we should go for, because this is where the parampara works. So a challenging attitude cannot help one realize this transcendental message. It will not help. A devotee who is detached from the material world is even friendlier by nature with one and all, and becomes very attached to serving the Lord and his devotees, as well as being friendly with all living entities. This is the most important verse of this. We said in the beginning, no, that there is a peace formula which will be given by Krishna. So this is the peace formula. Bhuktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantirimruchyati. Bhuktaram yajnatapasam. Bhuktaram means enjoyer. Yajnatapasam. So Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Sarvaloka maheshwaram. He is the controller of all the lokas, all the world, the entire universe. And Suradam Sarvabhutanam. He is the only friend in everybody's heart. Sarvabhutanam. He is the friend of all the living entities. And once you know these three, first Bhoktaram Yagadapasam, second is Sarvaloka Maheswaram, and third is Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. If you just know these three, Shantim Ruchati, the peace will come. So these sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of the sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. So Bhoktaram Yagatapasam, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Offer everything in the transcendental service of the Lord. This story we know when uh, this lady came with some of the fruits and somehow he gave to Krishna, and she was not given the you know uh, either those times some money or some jewels. Nothing was given to her. He went just out of love. He gave it, and ultimately when she went away, her entire basket was full of all jewelries. So Bhaktaram Yagnatapasa. So her offer of service, the enjoyer was Krishna. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So Krishna is greater than the greatest. No one is greater than him. Supreme proprietor of all planets and demigods. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhridam Sarvabhutana. So in fact, uh, you know, they say that Krishna waits for all the living being, 84 lakhs of species, all of them, he waits. Then when you get liberated, and he waits at the gate of Vrindavana. The moment before entering, he gives a hug to you, and then you become the part of his pastime. That is how he is. Suhridam Sarvabhutana. He is the friend. It's not like your Facebook friend or the some other type of friend. He's the real friend. So Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhudam Sarvabhutanam. Understand God the way He wants to be understood. So we cannot understand God as we want to understand. We have to understand Krishna as He wants to understand through His own song. That is Bhagavad Gita. And He's saying, I am this, this, and this. So so in fact, there is a beautiful story on particularly Bhoktaram Yagatapasam. So we all know about Mirabai. So Mirabai wanted to meet Jiva Goswami, and his disciples did not allow Mirabai that he is a brahmachari, he will not meet you. But Mirabai said, why? No, because you are a woman and he is a Purusha. And Purusha is in Sanskrit is an enjoyer. Where so Mirabai said that I know only one enjoyer in the entire universe. He is Krishna. I don't know how your guru has become the Purusha. Then immediately Jiva Goswami came out and immediately said that no, she is an exalted devotee. So no God, no peace, and no God, no peace. That's the simple formula. I think I am the enjoyer, but that binds me to the cycle of action and reaction. So I am not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. We are the temporary owners. We say that if you ask anyone, then he will say that, I have made a beautiful temple of Krishna in my house. But what has happened is in Krishna's house, I am entering to build his house. So peace formula, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme controller, Krishna is our well-wishing friend, Suhridam Sarvabhutana. So this is the takeaway. A brick of gold can be used as a paperweight, and it can work as a paperweight, no doubt on that. But is it what the gold on a brick is supposed to be? No. But the purpose of the brick was much superior. If you use it as a paperweight, anyone would call us fool. So one who thinks human life is for sense enjoyment, making money, making bungalows, getting cars and all that is an even bigger fool for wasting away such precious life in mundane endeavor, which animals do in any case. They do eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all even the animals do. So we need to understand that we're not here for sense enjoyment. We're here for enjoyment of Krishna. And action in Krishna consciousness, because this subject is karma sannyasa, that is working in Krishna consciousness. And the best example is from Shastra Prahlad Maharaj. He always acted in Krishna consciousness. He always was remembering Vishnu. Not a single time where he was not remembering Vishnu. And that is the reason why nothing happened to him. He was, tried to be killed in various processes, sometimes under the elephant, sometimes with snakes, sometimes he was thrown from the hilltop, so on. But nothing happened. But with his resolute devotion, finally Narasimha came and killed Hiranyakashipu. So this is a chapter summary. Sannyasa or Karma Yoga, he's asking in 5.1, which is better. So Krishna is saying that Karma Yoga is better. It is better than Sannyasa. Niskama Karma frees one from bondage and liberation by focus on Supreme. Jnatva mam shantim ruchati. So vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo evacha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna. So I just stop sharing and class is